now that we have seen the various seasons, let us learn about some important features of climate change.
As the Earth began to form millions of years ago from a fireball to a planet, a lot of gases were emitted. The gravitational pull of the Earth did not let the gases to escape into outer space. As a result, the Earth still holds them back.
What do you think happens as a result of this, students?
As a result, there is a thin layer of gases that surrounds the Earth and provides many important benefits. Students, the oxygen that we breathe, the ozone layer that protects us from the hazardous ultraviolet rays of the sun, the nitrogen that is used by the plants to make proteins are some of the many benefits of the layer of the gases. This thin light layer is called atmosphere that envelops the Earth.
Students, as you studied in your class 9, it is the atmosphere that taps the solar energy that reaches Earth by preventing it from totally escaping back into space.
Students, as the global temperatures rise, the ice in the tundras melts more. As a result, the methane that is under the ice in the tundras escape into the atmosphere. This leads to increase in the temperatures globally. This in turn results in more ice beginning to melt and releasing more and more methane.
This happens like a cycle. Also, students, the methane gas is to be more effective than the carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. Students, in this section, let us see how the AGW and climate change are related. The anthropogenic global warming is leading to many changes in the distribution of heat in the Earth system.
Students, this is called global warming, which is very important for survival on the planet. Students, it is the atmosphere that gives the heat. Otherwise, the Earth would have been very cold.
But what we can see from the 19th century is the rapid warming up of the planet. This has become a matter of concern for everybody. But why do you think one should get alarmed about the rapid warming up of the planet?
Although the Earth has been going through various cycles of heating and cooling, what might cause the rapid warming up? Students, if we look at the cycles of cooling and warming took place over very long periods of time. As a result, most of the life on Earth to gradually adapt to the changes.
But students, what is happening now is that the heating is happening very rapidly, which is leading to catastrophic changes. Students, most of the warming has begun to occur from the time of Industrial Revolution as a result of the human activity.
This is the reason the present trend of the global warming is called AGW, or the anthropogenic global warming. In other words, it is the global warming that is caused by human. As we all know about the distribution and redistribution of the heat between the ocean and the atmosphere, these cycles are distributed by the AGW. The disturbance may not be as big a problem as the rapid pace at which it is taking place.
Students, as the redistribution system is disturbed, the patterns of weather and climate change. The long-term changes like the climatic changes take place due to the changes in the weather. All the countries have become equally concerned about the adverse effects of global warming.
An international effort to come to an agreement by which all the countries try to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases has not been able to be achieved. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, is an international organization that was formed to address the issue of global warming.
This body has held many conferences to design a treaty among the nations which would reduce AGW and slows down the process of climate change. But none of these efforts turned out to be fruitful. The effort of the IPCC conference in Warsaw in 2013 has also not been successful in reducing climate change to any extent. Students, if we look at the failures of the conferences, the disagreements are mainly between the developed and the developing countries. In other words, disagreement between the industrialized and economically more advanced countries of the West and the countries that are not industrialized. While the developed countries want the developing countries to cut down in activities like reduction of burning coal that add greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, the developing countries argue that the developed countries made use of burning fossil fuels for their growth. On the other hand, the developing countries point out that their economic development is highly affected in case fossil fuels are not burnt. In addition, the developed countries are expected to contribute their share to help find alternatives for the developing countries to progress.
Many scientists across the world believe that the AGW is happening at a rapid pace and resulting in significant climate changes.
In fact, they are also warning about the increasing threats of climate changes that would happen in the future. Students, as we have learned, the AGM is caused by human activities, and one of the main human activities that is leading to global warming is deforestation. Now, let us see how our country is getting affected by climatic change.
Although there is a rise in 2 degrees centigrade in the average temperature, which may be assumed to be small, this is going to result in the rise of 1 meter of sea levels by the early part of the next century.
This is expected to affect many parts of the coastal areas, and millions of people would have to be shifted. This, in turn, will affect their livelihood.
Around 200 families living in the Nonadanga area in East Kolkata for the last years are being evicted by the Kolkata Metropolitan Development Authority, KMDA.
In March, the slum in which they were living was shattered amidst heavy police presence, and some huts were set on fire. In addition, the constant thunderstorms in the last few days have left these people sleepless and made the people homeless. Another significant effect of this is on rainfall. This is expected to change more rapidly, thereby creating a lot of imbalances.
In such conditions, while some places may receive heavy rainfall, some places may receive less than normal rains. This may result in increased conditions of droughts and floods, which in turn would affect the patterns of agriculture and livelihoods of the people. The rapid melting of the Himalayan glaciers also would disturb the livelihood of freshwater fisher folks, as their natural habitats would be affected.
So, from this, we can understand that climate change happens at a global level and impacts all of us. So, students, this is how the climate and weather form an important element of influence of our lives. The activities of human beings affect the climate and weather in more than one way. So, from now onwards, we are aware about the impact of climate and weather. Let us try our best not to create imbalances for the environment.